After the program, people are going either to breakthrough in the dating or relationship or breakdown. After the breakthrough, there will be a breakdown. If you go to breakdown, you will have a breakthrough. It's just part of the process. And so I am curious, where are you after the program? Did you experience breakthrough or breakdown, or maybe already something already shifted for you?
Where am I? Who I am? Who I am in between it all? Is that an answer?
Sure, go ahead.
I think for me, um, I would say more breakthrough, because I feel like, I won't say I'm actively dating, like on dating sites or like consistently going on dates every week. I'm not doing that. I think for me, the breakthrough I'm realizing is like distance. So like for example, the one guy that I recently met, I was at an event, and like he was asking me questions, like showing interest, and then at the end of the event he was like, oh, I have to bring my car to the airport right now, and that's when I had to leave. So I asked him, I was like, hey, could you like take me to the airport? He was like, no problem. He picked me up, whatever, we're driving, and then he takes out a rose, and I was like, oh wow, this is nice. Like I was like, thank you. I was like, did you just like pull this off the bush? And he was like, yeah, something like that. So it was nice. But then like after we had a FaceTime call, it was very like, I was kind of strict about it. I was like, look, like I'll only give you an hour, is because it's our time zones are different and I don't talk on the phone late. So not strict, but like I had my boundary. And then we had a great conversation, whatever. But then I noticed a pattern. He would message me like a week later at like a late night, like at I know at his time it was like 5, 6 o'clock, but my time it was like 9 o'clock. So I just stopped answering because I'm like, I already told you that I'm not going to answer after a certain time. Um, and for you to message me every like week is not consistent enough for me. And it's like, I wouldn't have cared as much if you didn't give me a not that I really cared, but I wouldn't have felt like, what, why are you being distant, or do you have a girlfriend? Like I wouldn't, if you didn't give me the rose, but I felt like the rose kind of symbolized like a romantic interest or something, you know. The men have been more stable, they have more jobs, they're more mature, but what I've noticed is just the distance is still in my field of what I'm attracting, like having that distance and not consistency. So that's that.
Got it. Well, Sarah, let me first of all acknowledge where you are. It's such a huge change because now you're not just putting the boundaries. This is the time I am talking to, and after that time, I'm not gonna talk. But you already see inconsistency in him. And by the way, ladies, the inconsistency, when a man is inconsistent, is the red biggest flag for you that a man is not serious about you. This is the biggest thing. Inconsistency. Because inconsistency creates confusion in who?
Ourselves.
Exactly. And then you feel confused. Does he like me? Does he not? Is he interested? Is he not? And when you confused, what do you think it does to you?
I feel like it kind of like it makes you question your value and your worth and your self-worth when it has nothing to do with you, it's them.
Beautiful. What it impacts you is your self-esteem, your self-worth. So this is really huge. And Sarah, I want to acknowledge you that you are not wasting a week, a 2, a 3 with the guy who's inconsistent. He gave you the rose, very nice. And then he disappears, and a week later he texts you at what, 10, 11 p.m. If a guy texts you around 10, 11 p.m., what message is he sending to you?
Booty call.
Exactly. Exactly. A guy who is really interested, what time will he text you?
In the morning, whenever.
Yes, morning, lunchtime, before 7 p.m. everything when the night comes down, and you can give him excuse. Well, he was working all day. Now it's 7 p.m. He ate. That means he didn't think about you all day. And now, when it's convenient for him, he's now thinking about you at 8, 9, 10, 11 p.m. No. And moreover, the inconsistency not just creates your confusion and your self-esteem, it creates a room for playing games. And you're the bait. And whenever he wants, he's fishing. And he's like, oh, fish is here. Oh, then I'm going to take you to date. You did not get on the hook the next one and the next one. And he's continue fishing. So this is the biggest red flag that you want to avoid. So I want to acknowledge you for seeing it and not getting on the hook. This is great, Sarah. Really, really great. I want to acknowledge you, and I want to give you right now a prize. You won already a big, big title. This is amazing. Amazing. Really, really great. Another thing, since we're talking about dating, a guy who is really interested in you, not just gonna text you at night, he will ask you on a date and he will ask you questions. Because we're living right now in a society where hookups are everywhere. And how you know you're in a hookup situation, a guy is not interested and not asking you questions. I see a lot of people go kind of on a dates that ends up in a bedroom. I'm like, this is not a dating, because you did not have conversation and he's not interested to get to know you.
Even, I just want to add, even the questions though, you have to see like our red flag. Because one of the first questions he asked me was, do you cook? And I'm like, okay, you're asking me this because you want, like, I know you want like to see if I can cook, but like I see where you're heading, like what you want, you know, like you want the prize right away.
Yeah. He's not getting to know you, who you are at the core. And we will talk about it more as actually, let's begin, because Gabriella is married and she can listen to it later if she's interested. I would like to start reviewing the principle of 3 grooms, because 3 of you ladies are single. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time going over it. And so for those who watched, who were in the program, again, let's review. What are the 3 rules to follow the 3 groom principle? Number 1, what you cannot do. You already forgot.
I just a bit didn't get question. Like what you cannot do in dating.
What you cannot do in dating with a guy, which is the 3 rules foundation. You're dating a guy.
Sleep?
Yes, you cannot sleep with him. Number 2.
Fall in love during the process.
Fall in love.
That's not a rule. It's not a rule. And how you cannot fall in love with the guy, you gotta date not 1, but how many?
3.
3.
A few.
3 guys, okay? But you cannot have sex with him. That's the first.
Live with him.
Number 2, that's right. You cannot live with the guy. And number 3.
Spend money?
Don't cook.
Yes.
Don't cook.
Don't cook.
Don't cook for him. And by the way, somebody in our group asked me, is it considered to have a groom who is married? Absolutely not. If a guy is married, he's not a groom. Only single guys. And sometimes men lying. And you will see inconsistency in him too, because he's married. Okay, and now going back to your question, how not to fall in love with a guy, because this is so fundamentally important, ladies, and that's the question for you. Why you shouldn't fall in love with a guy who you've been dating for 2, 3, 4 weeks, even 5 weeks, and he's handsome and he does good actions and blah blah blah, and why you cannot fall in love with him.
Because you will sleep with him.
Yes, you will sleep with him, but what else? Why?
I think you will have like pink glasses, and you're not gonna see red flags. You're not gonna
Beautiful.
notice that he married, let's say.
Yes. What else?
Because if you're dating, you should be dating other men.
Yes.
Yes. So for, you know, you want to have them court you as much as possible.
Yes.
So you choose who you want, and you're like,
yes. Okay. Beautiful. Choose. Why is the choosing for a woman is important? So why choosing a man is very, very important, because again, you slept with the guy after 4 or 5 dates. If we're not going to have choices and choose the man that we chose because he was courtshiping us, dating us, out of this 3 or 4, one guy who is behaving the best, who respects us, loves us, listens to us, and all of that, that is important to us. When we get married, we will be thinking, he's not the one. I should have chosen someone else. And that's how woman actually becomes not loyal. That's when she's cheating. Because deep in her heart, she doesn't feel that she chose him. Make sense?
Yeah.
She's not fully satisfied. And if a woman is not fully satisfied, she's gonna go on the birthday parties, Christmas parties, New Year's Eve parties, or whatever gatherings, and she'll be comparing other men and the husbands of her girlfriends and thinking he's better. And that's how in her head she starts cheating.
The divorce.
On the man. This is the first stage. And the second stage, she'll be thinking, okay, I need to find somebody better. This is already cheating in her head. And the third step, she's already starts to cheat physically. That's why dating 3 or 4 guys is very important. So they go through all of the stages and she chooses him.
But in the same time, when you're going in all stages, because like you cannot have all 3 or 4 of them at the same time, like, I mean, let's say with me, what happened, I had before I went to my trip, like I had 3 guys, I was meeting them, but 2 of them, disappeared and 1 is left. And I'm still meeting with 1, but yesterday I was sharing that for 2 days he didn't answer. And to be honest, I asked him yesterday why he didn't message me.
The reason why you even reach out to him and asking him, because again, here's only 1 left. The moment the 2 are gone, you gotta replace and have the other 2. You always gotta have the pool of 3.
Where can I get it?
Again, listen to the program. You have an attachment to liking the guys. Make sense?
Yeah.
That is the problem. Yeah. You're falling in love with a guy who you've met only 4 or 5 weeks ago. You slept with him. Now you are pushing away 2 or 3 other guys. And now you're putting all the eggs into this guy. You investing your heart into him. And what is he stop doing?
Reciprocating or
Reciprocating what?
like his reciprocating his pursuit for you, right? Because now like the energy shifting, so now it's kind of like you're chasing, so he's like getting repelled.
What happens fundamentally, ladies, and you gotta get this for the rest of your life. The moment you are sleeping with the guy, yes, you're falling in love with him, but what you're cutting off, his possibility to grow. Because when he's courtship you, he is still investing his time, energy, and money. After you slept with him, he has no interest anymore to invest any more time, energy, and money. But what's most importantly he stopped doing? You took that away from him, which is, what is that?
This romance, his desire.
Yes, romance and desire, all of that cuts off. But the biggest thing,
He not see you as a wife.
for sure he's not gonna see you as a wife. But what else? What is the biggest thing that communicates to you that he loves you? And what is it communicates
Not
to him?
respect you anymore.
Well, for sure, he stops respecting you because you gave it to him too early, and he now doesn't see you as a wife material. Because for a man, it's more important to respect you, rather than love you. For us, it's important, but for man is respect. And if you sleep with him, he stops respecting you, and that's how he doesn't see you as a wife material. But what is the biggest thing that you still haven't mentioned? How does a guy knows that you are the one and you know that he loves you? What is the biggest signs?
Yo, I don't know.
Responsibility.
Yes, but responsibility comes with engagement and marriage. He's still not responsible for you, but he does something in order to conquer you. It's besides investing in you time, energy, and money. What is he doing? And he's willing to do it.
Protect you?
Invest time, energy, and money, provide, lead, and protect, even though it's still not his responsibility, but he's still doing as dating. But what is the biggest thing that he's doing that is assigned to him and to you?
Not dating another woman. Not dating another woman.
Yes, but that's not it. This is still a minor. This is natural, but this is something big that is not natural to men. And this is how you know he is serious and he is the one. He knows it and you know it.
He introducing you to like his family.
This is really great, big one, but it's not it. He can do it in order to show you that he's serious. It could still be a gaming. Introduce you to friends and even a family, but it still could be, he could fake it. But that thing, he cannot fake.
I remember you saying that a guy knows like he likes you when he like starts thinking about you or keeps coming back to you, right? So like he's talking to other women, but at the end of the day he's like, oh, Sarah is the one I want to talk, or I don't know if that is what you're searching for.
This is you're talking about after the second stage. A man now knows that he wants to come back to you, but no, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Ladies, you forgot. Because in 2 of the programs before I shared it, and that's why I'm glad we're talking about it. So one thing, you know that a man is really serious into you, and he is looking at you not as a potential, even a wife. He sees you as a life muse, is when he is willing to change for you. For example, he sees that you're a spiritual person and that it is important for you not to have sexual intimacy until you're engaged or married. It's not his principle, but because he's really, really interested in you, he starts respecting you. He starts to get interested in your values and in your principles and starts to adapt to your principles and your values. Guy who is really interested in you and serious, even if he's a drinker or a smoker, he will even do everything to change his habit and quit in order to be with you, because he heard and clearly understood that this is important to you. It's important for you that you want to get married and be a stay-at-home mom and wife. It wasn't his principle, but he sees that it's important to you and he's willing to change and adapt. That's how you know, at the core, a man is really serious about you. And all of the other signs with it, you will see that he's calling and texting in the morning and lunch. He's introducing you to his friends and his family. And another thing that comes with it, he is never rushing you. He's taking his time to get to know you. It's just imagine you are in a restaurant, in a very expensive restaurant, and you got your best dessert. You're not gonna swallow it right away. You're gonna slowly enjoy every bit as you're putting it in your mouth. And relationship to a woman, dating process should be like that. The moment you sleep with the guy, you basically gave him all your best cards. And now he is not conquering you. He's not courtshiping you. You are chasing him and begging him, will you commit to me? Will you marry me? Will we get married and have kids? You will have to do all of the work just because you rush the process. You kill all of the possibilities to make him the best possible man he could be. And in all spiritual books, it clearly states, who do you think makes a man the best version of himself? We do. We do. Whether it's in a marriage and whether it's in a dating. But in the dating, it is much easier to do. By just not sleeping with the guy, and like Sarah was sharing, keeping the boundaries. Boundaries is about your principles and your values. And no matter how much you like the guy, you are not bending those principles. But then what is the fundamentally biggest problem with us women in the dating? Why we're not able to achieve all of that? Emotion, very good. But let me ask you then this, to make it to the point. Why are we just dating one guy? Or not dating at all?
Maybe the fear of being hurt again.
That could be there for sure too, yeah. But what's another biggest reason?
Loneliness?
Loneliness there for sure is a factor. Because in the reality, you all have at least 2 or 3 grooms out there, but you're not dating them. Why is that?
Distance for me.
I
don't know what's with me and people in other countries.
By the way, when people are dating people in other countries, I shared that before, Sarah, and I'll say it again. There's a fear of commitment. There's still this fear of commitment. And I will invite you today when we're going to do the exercise to look into it. You'll have an opportunity to resolve that. And I would really invite you to take it on and heal whatever is there in the way, okay? So I would like for you to keep thinking. You have 2 or 3 grooms, which means guys who really like you. But the reason why you're not dating because you don't really like them.
This is true.
And this is the biggest dilemma. Why a woman in her 30s and her 40s and even in her 50s is still single and not married is because our biggest dilemmas, ladies, is that we're still looking for the one. And in our mind, when we meet guy, we're like, oh, I like his smile, I like his voice, I like his intelligence. He is the one. And let me tell you what spiritual books are saying. The one that you think is the one is not the one. That one, even, there's very little chance that you're going to get married to him. But even if you're going to get married to him, he's going to behave as a cranky woman in a marriage. And with that one, you will be investing and investing and investing your energy and more energy. And he's not going to be a man in a marriage. Because who likes him more? You do. That's why in the spiritual books it clearly states, a man gotta love a woman more than she loves him. But all the guys who are your grooms right now, who are showing the interest in you, you're brushing them off. Because the difference between a man and a woman can develop her feelings towards a man a month or 2 or 3 months later, as he gonna be properly courtship her. He will be taking her out, calling and texting and investing and protecting and providing and taking responsibility and changing for her. For a man, it will not be like that. He either likes you immediately and he makes that decision in 30 seconds and it's just a like. It will take him 4 or 5 months really to develop his deep feelings for you, and even more with time. And that's how he really falls in love. But if he's not initially interested in you, it's not going to change in 2 or 3 or 4 months. But for us women, we are designed differently. But in the modern society, we're behaving like men. We're now starting to make this decision in 30 to 40 seconds like a man. Oh, I like him or not.
What would you say, like, this is like judgmental or something? And I'm gonna say for me, like in my personal
Like I see there's
experience,
guys who like would obviously like to date me. But it's like I don't want to be with somebody for their potential, right? Because I have 2 kids. And it's like I know financially you wouldn't be able to say, "Hey, I'll get a house for you right now." Let's just say, right? This is big, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's their responsibility in the dating, but like I know this that they're financially not there. So it's like, do I want to be with somebody at a potential? Yeah, they're a good guy. They're sweet to me. They're always saying nice things, yada, yada, yada. They will take me out. But it's like, I know you're not financially there. So, but I would prefer somebody more financially with like already like a set annual pay.
Sarah, what I would say is that it's best to have these 3 or 4 grooms. One is, let's say he's financially, hypothetically makes only 30,000 a year. This guy makes 45,000 a year, and this one makes 100,000 a year. And you're dating all 3, and you're and you are watching who is action-wise consistent on treating you the way you like, the way you feel protected, the way you feel loved. And then in the process, you see who is willing to change for you, because this guy who is making 30,000, you're not his wife, you're not his fiance. In 2-3 months, he could get a different job making 60 grand. And it's not that he has a potential. You're not his wife, you're not sleeping with him, you're just going out with 3. And the guy who is making $80,000 or $100,000, he's cheap. He sometimes pays for you and then he disappears for 2-3 weeks and he's not consistent because he's dating 3 other women. And so you are dating all 3 and 4 and watching who is consistent, who is constantly there. And so we're not judging. He likes you, he's into you, because any guy at any point, you're just dating them. They're not your even boyfriend. You're not sleeping with them. You are observing their actions. Of course, it's not going to be okay if a $30,000 guy is now takes a credit to pay for all your stuff that you like.
yeah.
But if $30,000 guy is putting all of his actions and he's graduating a college and next thing he gets a completely different job, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
At any point. And that's why a woman takes her time. 5, 6, 7 months, she's slowly dating. And then she's slowly developing feelings for one who is consistent, who is respectful, who is there for her, who is providing, leading, and protective, and at the same time is now in exclusive relationship and willing to change for you. I will tell you, ladies, the reason why my marriage is so smooth is because I was dating for the first time, finally, my husband correctly. And all of my other relationships did not work because I was rushing. And yes, if I didn't go through a major breakup where my ex cheated with one of my friends, I probably never even looked at my husband, because I would go for guys who are very tall, black hair, black eyes, Antonio Banderas like. But Antonio Banderas like was nothing but drama. And I had enough of drama. And it took time for me to develop feelings for my current husband, because his actions, his consistency of how he was treating me. And that's what I would like for you to get. That if you're falling in love with the guy because you're looking for one, how he should be like in your mind, you could be single for the next 10 and 20 years. You gotta let go of the attachment to how you think he should be. Allow the grooms who are interested in you to get to know you. And some of you sometimes tell me, well, I don't really have this feeling for this guy. And I will tell you, that's a great thing. You should have feelings for this guy after a month or after 2. You're slowly getting to know him. Let him have a feelings for you. And you're slowly but surely gonna develop your feelings for him. You know, when I was in India, one of the gurus shared with me, and with all of us actually, in the program, a story. It's a hypothetical story that he was sharing with regards to material world versus spiritual world. But I would like for you to apply it to the dating as well. Because in the dating, so imagine how he was sharing the story. A monkey sitting in a tree, and the flood is happening. And so she cannot get to the shore. And all of a sudden, crocodile is passing by and say, hey, monkey, I just had a lunch, so I can take you to the shore if you'd like. And monkey says, are you sure you're going to take me to the shore? Because you're a crocodile. You sure you're not going to eat me? And crocodile says, I promise you, I'm not going to eat you. I'm full. So monkey says, that's fine. So she jumps on him. And they're going on the ride, but he's not taking her to the shore. And monkey says, hey, where are you taking me? He's like, well, I am full, but my wife and kids are hungry. And then a monkey says, well, but you promised me. He said, well, I promised you that I'm not gonna eat you, but I didn't say anything about my wife and my kids. And my wife, her favorite dessert is a monkey's heart. And monkey was clever, and she says, well, I am on top of you, but my heart, I left it at the tree. So take me back to the tree, so I'll take my heart. Well, the crocodile was not very smart. So he said, okay, I'll take you, but make sure you take your heart. And monkey said, sure, I'll take my heart. And so the moment the monkey jumps back at the tree, it says, bye-bye, crocodile, I decided to stay. The reason why I'm sharing this, we as women, we're very emotional and very trusting. When we go on a dates, what we do, we give our hearts right and left to a guy that we've been on 2 or 3 dates. On a guy we've been on the first date, on the 4th date. We give our heart right and left. And spiritual gurus are sharing. You gotta keep your heart to yourself. And I'm telling you, keep your heart to yourself until a guy really invests his time, long time, in getting to know you. Don't give it right and left. Can you connect? That we as a women just give heart away?
Mm.
Raise your Raise your hand if you're doing that when you're
Yes.
dating. Mhm. Mhm. And how is that working out?
Painful.
Yes,
Not working.
yes, yes,
And we're paying the price.
yes, yes. You keep it to yourself. You slowly getting to know. And moreover, the spiritual guru said, it's very dangerous to give your heart away like that. It is really dangerous. You're putting yourself in danger. You're basically sleeping or giving your heart to a stranger who didn't do anything to earn your trust, to earn your heart, to earn your love. Any questions about that? We're still resisting the idea that you have to date 3 or 4 guys at the same time. And you know what it does? Men feel when you're dating 3 or 4 guys at the same time. What do you think it does to them?
Drives them crazy. Probably.
Yeah, but if you think more, what it does to them?
They'll
Harder
want to compete.
They compete.
for price, yeah.
Yes. And when they compete, you are in their eyes become something even more valuable. That he recognizes not only he values you, but other men. And so he would want to win. It's like in the nature. Bulls are fighting for deer. In all animal kingdom, we're animals too, just a little bit more intelligent. But we are pushing that away and we're not giving that an opportunity to a man. And if a man knows that you have the principle where you're not sleeping with anybody and not just him, he will respect that. Only if a man will know that you're not sleeping with him and other guys you're sleeping, he'll be very bitter and very angry. But if he understands that you have this principle with everyone, over time he will respect you more and more. And that's how he starts to fall in love with you. But as a women have a really big pitfall. When a man, for example, you didn't sleep with him and he starts saying, well, you're not just sleeping with me. Well, I guess you don't like me. Why is he saying that?
You want to get sex?
He wants to have sex, but what else? What is he pushing in you?
His insecurities?
His insecurities, and what is he trying to get from you?
To chase him, or like...
Basically, he's saying that, oh, you don't like me, because he wants to hear you to say what?
Oh, how much you like him, or what's good about him.
Yes, yes. And for some women, it works. A man says, well, I guess you don't think I'm successful. I guess you don't like me. I guess you don't have sex with me, because he wants to hear that, no, you're handsome, you're successful. And women typically feel what for this guy?
Sympathy.
Sympathy and pity. And what does she do? Say again? She sleeps with him. Poor...
What a good... Sorry.
Go ahead, Sarah.
What a good question to be if, like, you go on a date with a guy like that. Say, like, oh, so how was the relationship with your mother? Like, let's go straight into it.
You don't want to be a therapist, Sarah. No, you just observe. You just observe, really. You can ask questions, but even observing, sometimes you can see all the red flags.
Yeah.
But questions you can, but don't be a therapist to a guy. But a lot of men nowadays, with their insecurities, they're trying to make you feel pity for them. Oh, I didn't have sex for a long time. I guess you don't like me. Oh, I haven't had a girlfriend for 5 years. I didn't have a job for 2 years. All of that is just pushing you to feel pity for him so you can be his mama.
Wow.
Yeah. And feel pity for you. So, ladies, please keep in mind that this is a man's selfishness, and we will stay away from a man who's trying to push these pity buttons. It's not your job, it's not your responsibility to fix him or to feel sorry for him. He's a man. He's a man, and he needs to overcome his challenges. Let's just review quickly because Gabby is married here. It will be a good review for you. Gabby, as you remember from our first part of the program, we discuss that we gotta create an opportunity for a man to serve us. What does it do? Why does a man, and by the way, when I say serve us, what do I mean by it? What do you ladies understand by serving us? And by the way, it comes to all of you as well. Yes, it's provide, lead, and protect. It's to serving us. Why at the core this is important? Whether you are single or whether in your relationship, why is it important?
Because for us women, it's very important to feel protected and safe. Otherwise, we cannot relax. We cannot like see this man as a husband, to be a good father for our kids and for us as a husband.
You know what? At this point, for you to really fully understand and dive into a man's world, I would like for us to do the exercise. First, we're going to dive into a man's world, and then we're going to dive into our woman's world. And then, after that, we're going to dive into your world, into what are you particularly dealing with. And then just allow yourself to feel what's there. It's a very powerful psychological / spiritual exercise. So do not analyze, because we have both masculine and feminine energy in us. In previous life, you were not once, but probably 100 times already a man. So you already know how it feels. It's all in your DNA. And so you will, for the first time in this life, fully will embrace and know and feel how a man feels. And then for the first time, you will also feel your deepest fears. And so this is what's this exercise is in a
I did
nutshell.
think of something. I guess I didn't share it,
Yes, please.
but does that, I feel like it also gives them serving us, gives them purpose in a way. And that's actually something that I've been talking to some friends about, as far as, because women are more in the thank you. Because we're more in like the masculine world now, and like women are working and we're doing all these things that traditionally used to be only male dominated, that's part of the, because I still have a lot of friends who feel it's important for women to work. And so I'm not going about trying to change their minds about that, it's kind of pointless at that point. But one thing I was trying to highlight to them is, I feel part of the reason their relationships aren't working out well, if at all, a lot of them aren't in relationships right now. Thank you for the hug. Is because they're doing it all, the men feel like, oh, there's no point. Like there's no purpose for me to be here because you're doing everything. So what's the point? And I feel like when I explained it that way to one girlfriend in particular who's been having some relationship problems, rather than being like, oh, you shouldn't work, kind of a deal. I felt like it resonated with her a little bit more, because then she actually saw it within her parents. Like she was like, oh, I see why my dad feels this way now. I see why my dad like stopped trying to do certain things, because my mom was doing it all. Like what's the point? Kind of a deal. Oh, so many hugs. I love all these hugs.
Hey, baby.
I see that now more too, because even probably in the transition in all of our families, there are some in the older generation where the women did stay at home. And then when they did start to work, it's like the men feel like they didn't have any purpose anymore, which is, it's very sad, but I understand why.
Yeah. When I was in Africa, and this is my second time in South Africa, but when I was even in Kenya and Tanzania, I saw the same pattern with men, and it's so tragic to see. When I talk to women, they all saying men are just at home, lazy, and drinking. And I always like to get to the core, like why all of this population of men in South Africa are just staying home. And then I start asking a lot of Afrikaans, meaning British and Dutch, and other people who've been living there for a long time, and asking them history. What did African men did just 50, 100, 200 years ago? Do you have any idea? What did they do just 50 years ago? Any
Maybe
ideas?
allow the women to work?
Mm-mm.
No.
So men, just 50, 100, 80 years ago, they were constantly in a war. The tribes, communities were constantly in the war. And women were staying home and taking care of kids while they were at war fighting. They were gone for 2, 3, 4 years, then they will come back for 6 months, and then they'll be gone fighting with a different tribe. And now all of these warriors don't know their purpose, because all they know is in DNA is how to fight. And now when they come home, a woman, because she goes to work, she took away that possibility for him to transition from war to going to work. And then all these women, I talk to them, I'm like, have you ever tried not to go to work? If I'm not gonna go to work, we're gonna starve and die. That's her fear. There's lack of trust. There's no trust in men at all. And of course, a woman takes away the biggest one, which Gabriella, you mentioned, is the purpose. And the second one is the basic need of a man to feel needed. If you're going to work and you're providing, he doesn't have any purpose. You're taking away his need. So now I shared this with you intellectually, and we're going to dive into the world, in the subconscious world, where you're going to experience that both emotionally, physiologically, in all realm, how men feel. And so, Gabby, I wish you luck. I don't know how you're going to do it with baby Alexander.
Yeah, it's
Go to washroom.
be involved.
Yes, let's go to the restroom. Let's take a 3-minute break.
1 minute. Thank you.
We'll take 3.
Thank you.
Let's take 3-minute break and we will continue, okay? So before we're gonna go into exercise, Olga had a question.
In the beginning of when we started of the session, you mentioned that when guys disappear, we start to chat, like meet, they disappear, and it's a red flag already. But if they, I'm meeting, I'm seeing now a guy, and actually it's been a month, and he constantly messaged me first, and then for 2 days he didn't message. And but I think it's as well him insecurity, because before when we were speaking about it, not because he didn't message me, he was saying, don't think when I'm not talking too much, if I'm not asking a lot, don't think that I don't like you, it's not like this, it's just my character, blah, blah, blah. And then when he didn't message me for 2 days, I messaged him in the evening, and then he oh, let's meet tomorrow. And then he again became active. And I'm like, okay, but I want to meet him and ask him face to face, but are it as well mean that he disappeared because maybe he dating another girls, or maybe because they're unsecured, they waiting to have a step from a woman? Because actually as well what he mentioned to me, because when we met first time, we met in a paddle game, and he didn't message me for 2 weeks. He messaged me after 2 weeks, and I was asking him, why didn't you message me directly? And he oh, I add you in Instagram and you didn't follow me back. You know, men need to feel that, like, I mean, some sign from a woman and you didn't like follow me back. But then I was checking your Instagram and I really like you more. Then I message you, you know, kind of again insecurity like this. He very nice guy, but then again for 2 days he kind of disappeared. But I feel it's he's just insecurity because he want that I will let him know that I like you as well.
Yeah.
You know how you can comment this?
Well, there's two things. First of all, a man, when he starts dating, he has this sexual interest, sexual desire, all the chemistry, and he's chasing you. But then, after 3 to 4 weeks, a man go into the stage of uncertainty. Have you seen the program, Six Stages?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And in the second stage of uncertainty, sometimes they disappear, which is very clear. You cannot chase him. You shouldn't ask him. He will come back when he will overcome the stage that, yes, he's actually interested in you and he wants to come back to you because he seriously likes you. But if this is not the case and he has insecurity, which I believe, Anya, you don't mind if I share the reason why you split up with the guy, because he was dealing with the insecurity, it's a big red flag. If a woman has to constantly make him feel that, no, you're handsome, oh, I like you, I have to text you or I have to call you, I have to let you know that, no, I'm into you. If a woman has to do all this work to show to the guy that, yes, he is worthy, that, yes, I like you, that becomes very exhausting. Maybe Anya, you can share. How did that make you feel being with a man who was dealing with the insecurity? Because for a man, it's such a big turnoff and it drains a woman. It's exhausting.
Yes, definitely. And you cannot even confirm every time that you have feelings to the other person, and always think something is off. You know, so it's very disturbing for a woman, and you don't feel secure and safe with this type of man.
Yeah, because bottom line, he will never be able to give you the sense of safety and the real connection, because it's always going to be about him because of his insecurity. Yeah. And a woman needs to feel protected by a man. And here you will never feel protected. If you see that red flag, that it was not the uncertainty stage, but the guy is really insecure, that's why you're dating a while to see, oh, this red flag constantly shows up. And I'm sure for Anya, next time she'll see an insecure guy, she'll like, oh, I've seen that before, I'm out of there. And same for hopefully. You. Yeah, it's just, I remember one of the dating gurus back in the 90s or early 2000s when I was listening to him. He was doing the lecture back in Russia. He was saying a woman got to date 30 guys, and the closer you're getting to the 30th, the better quality you're gonna meet. The first one is insecure, the second one has a mommy's boy problem, the third one is the narcissist, the fourth one is codependent, the fifth one is something else, the sixth one's like money. How fast you gonna overcome the guys that are not it? Are you gonna waste 4, 5, 6 months, a year or 2 years, or is it gonna be 1 or 2 dates? Next. To get after the 20 guys, you're getting higher and higher and higher quality. And how you're becoming higher quality, the more you're working on yourself and investing in yourself, you're gonna see, not it, and not it. And you're just counting. How many guys do you need to go through fast enough to get to really high quality? But again, without you investing time and energy in yourself, you will still be like, okay, who will do this all for me? We don't want that. You want to be happy on your own. Sure.
Like, it means that I shouldn't message him first, because no. Like all this time, all months, he was the first who messaged me. And this time for 2 days he didn't message, and I'm like, I felt that he's this insecurity, that he like now she need to do the step, you know.
And then you're
And she's
fixing,
like, it's okay.
and
Yeah,
you're
so
fixing his complaint. You see, if you message him first because you want to, sometimes that's different. But if you're messaging him because you feel that he's insecure, you're already stepping into fixing him. Do you get it? And that's what fundamentally is not working here. And next, if you're going to fix this complaint, later you're going to fix more complaints. And that's what you want to avoid, because the more complaints we're fixing, there will not be a lack of complaints. There'll be actually more and more and more
it's not
complex
about that I
ones.
was thinking that he insecure. I just was like wondering why he not messaging, you know. And this is first what came, but maybe he dating another girls. I don't know.
And by the way, if a guy is dating another girls, he's dating other girls. There's nothing you can do. You are not in exclusive relationship. If you are already on the second stage, and if he's dating other girls, there will be a higher chance that he's not going to develop his deep feelings for you. At this stage, after 1 month, he should be dating only you. But you cannot fix him. And if he will date other girls and he'll realize he doesn't like them as much as you, and he'll come back to you afterwards, that's when he really going to develop a deeper feelings for you. So let him be, let him date. Even if he sleeps around with other girls, you're not his wife, who cares? Because women usually, oh, then he will be sleeping with other girls if I'm not sleeping with him. Let him do whatever he does.
I had a question actually about that for like the dating multiple men.
Yeah.
So I brought up, because I always talk about your programs to my girlfriends.
Okay,
And
thank you.
I brought up that concept before of like, I actually think that's one of the few things that I did right. I don't think I did a lot of things right in the dating game when I met David, but I think what was nice was, even though he wasn't, kind of to Sarah's point earlier, yeah, he wasn't the wealthiest man I was dating, but he was definitely the most generous. I could kind of see like, oh, this guy makes probably double, triple based off of his occupation compared to David, but like, he gives me the least, you know, like, so just because a man's rich doesn't mean, oh, you got it, doesn't mean that he's generous, you know, kind of a thing. And that was something that I noticed. But something that a lot of my girlfriends are saying when I introduce this concept of like, you got to date multiple guys, they're always like, Gabby, that sounds exhausting. That sounds exhausting. I guess how can they get over that sort of like, this idea of like, oh, that's so tiring. They like, and I feel like what I was saying to them was, oh, it's probably because you're investing a lot of your energy and already putting a lot of your love into these guys, into one guy.
Yes.
But I felt like I couldn't really convey to them like why it's important, and I guess how to get over this idea of like, that sounds exhausting.
The reason why it's exhausting is because a woman during the dating, let me ask you, from 1 to 100, how much should she give to a guy on a date and while she's dating, percentage wise?
20.
Other ideas?
10.
20.
Ladies, a woman
Hi.
a woman should just give 10%.
Oh.
Man does 90%. That is the
It's
rule.
first months, yeah? It's first months or like 6 months? How many like
No,
like,
while you're
whole day
dating.
for marriage?
When you're married, believe it or not, you are investing more spiritually and emotionally. Man does provide, lead, and protect you. It's not visible that right now I am not working. I am leading programs sometimes, but I'm being a housewife, a mother. But emotionally, it feels like I'm working, because all of the stresses that a man, my husband, goes through, I almost feel like I'm a liver and kidney. Everything has to go through me and I'm cleansing. And therefore, I'm exhausted. He comes from work. He doesn't share his trouble. But I'm like a filter that filters everything so he can go back to work tomorrow to bring a bacon home and provide for me and our son and all the 7 employees. And so it's emotionally draining. That's why without spiritual practices, I know, and my husband, I'm glad that he understands that the reason why he's succeeding is because I am filtering through and pushing him with a refreshed energy every day to go to work. The creator's energy is present in our household. But in a dating, it's literally you are investing 10%. He's doing 90, you're doing 10. If you get to the point of 20, you're already going to start feeling tiring. But women do, because they're in a masculine energy, they're doing 90. Sometimes women from the group are calling me and asking me, why do you think he's not calling me? Yes, we're in a long distance. What do you think he's going through? How will he commit to me? And what he does and what... I'm like, why are you even thinking like that? Why are you even worried about this stuff? Because she's operating in a masculine energy. She's too invested into a man. We cannot do that. They have the courtship towards us. They're calling, texting, asking you out, and you are allowing them to courtship you, and you acknowledge them, and you're accepting their courtship. That's it. You're not wondering why is he calling, why he's texting, why he's not calling, why he's not texting you. You're not making his dating process easier or trying to please him or trying to thank him or trying to sleep him because he took you 20 times out. None of that. None. 10%. You're living your life, you have your hobbies, you have your friends, you go out, you live your life. And just 10% you're giving to this stranger, 10% to this stranger, and 10% to that stranger. 30%. That's it. And then it's not going to be exhausting. It's going to be amazing that one guy takes you to kayaking, second guy goes to hiking with you, a third guy takes you to rock climbing or a restaurant. Then it's fun. Then it's exciting. But women are working full time, and on top of it, they're trying to analyze how this dating this one guy that finally I met, or he's good looking and makes money, and trying to squeeze the relationship out of him. Then that is exhausting. And you're trying to push him to the finish line to commit to you and get married to you. That's very exhausting. Do you get it, ladies? This is all fundamentally wrong. And men feel when you're this desperate and trying to push him to the finish line. What is present? What are you getting, ladies?
We're given only 10%. Let them do the job.
Say that again, Ola.
That we're giving them only 10%. Let them do all another job, all 90%.
Yes. Yes. Let them work. They're men. And the more they're working, the more they love the process. They love it. Don't take that away from them. Let them figure out how to call you, text you, which color you like, which flowers you like, which restaurants you like, what you like, kayaking, dancing, whatever. Let him be a man. What else is present, ladies?
It's definitely this concept of surrender, for sure.
Yeah.
Just really, I mean, I tell everybody, all of my friends, and I feel like that's obviously why Mira joined. You know, sadly she couldn't make it today, but is if there isn't a spiritual connection, there's going to be a lot of disharmony. And that I think the biggest part of why I was drawn to your knowledge and more of the Eastern belief systems is even, I mean, I grew up in a very heavily Christian household, but this concept of surrender is completely gone.
Yeah.
Like like I hear all the time, quick example, my mom, I joke around with my mom that she's the doomsday preparer, you know, that she's preparing for the apocalypse. She just got solar panels installed in her house, you know, like all these things are cool. But she's the one who's driving all of this. It's not my dad who's driving any of this. And, you know, she'll always quote the Bible and quote things, you know, oh yeah, trust in God, but you have to use your wisdom. And I was like, well, you're using your wisdom, not God's wisdom. You know, like I challenge her. I try to challenge her all the time. Because I'm not trying to convince my mom to convert. Um, but just this concept of surrender, I realized that's part of the reason why I should say the Western interpretation of Christianity hasn't resonated with me, because ultimately Christianity is not a Western religion. But the way that the US has kind of taken it and pushed it out to this society, I realized that's completely taken out. You know, so my mom always feels like she has to use, oh, but you know, trust in God, but you have to use your wisdom. And I was like, I don't think that's the point, actually.
You are bringing a really powerful point, Gabriela. But in order to surrender, what do you think people gotta have, which they're lacking tremendously in the West, but now even in the Eastern Europe, it's lacking a lot as well. One thing that I want to share, I wanted to keep it for tomorrow, but I'll share it right now. First of all, I want to acknowledge you all for being in the How to Make a Man Responsible program and being now, because your funds went to a lot of women. I thought they're all wearing white, and in the province where I was in West Bengal, I'm glad that they wear colorful dresses, because once a man die or something happens to them, a woman is really on her own. And what's the fundamentally different between us and women in India? These women are in their 60s, 50s, 70s, 80s. They're not living with children. Some of them understand that children hardly surviving life, and so they really remove themselves and literally walking. They go to different towns, different cities, and they literally sleep on the grass. And then they see banana, they eat banana, that's their food. They see a dirty river, they'll drink a water, that's their water. They'll see a mango or papaya, they'll eat it, that's it. And the fundamental difference between us is that we are trying to push ourselves to feel like we deserve something and we want to have a better job, more income, or a rich husband or something, and they fully surrender to what they have. And they fully believe that Creator gonna take care of them. And then they will find a shelter somehow, you know, under the tree. They will always find the food, and somebody will give them rice. And they just take what is there and accepting, in full acceptance. But what is fundamentally different between us and them? Because coming to them and feeding this around, I think it was 300 or 400 women, and seeing their bathroom, and excuse my language, ladies, I'm sorry to share that, but I have to. I saw this bathroom. I wanted to go to the bathroom, but I didn't go to, because I saw all of this. You get that, right? All of the stuff are swimming on the floor. And they're barefooted, going into this bathroom, doing their business, and walking out. And there's no complaint at all, in full acceptance of what's so. And I'm looking at them and I'm tearing up, thinking how to make it perfect, line up the food, get all of the monks who are wearing orange uniform to be a little bit away from them, because monks have to be away from women. And I'm thinking all of the perfection, how to make it all nice. And then I'm like, oh my God, what am I thinking? These ladies are fully in embrace, surrender, and acceptance of Creator in their life. And I'm tearing up looking at it, and I'm thinking, my God, we are in the West thinking that we have the clean air, beautiful homes, and everything externally so beautiful. But let me acknowledge, ladies, we're so in the West empty inside. So empty inside. And here they are. The poops are swimming in the floor everywhere, right and left. And there's lack of food, and they're skinny, and they're sleeping on the grass that is a gray color because of the air pollution. That is so bad. The whole of the trees are gray color because it's so bad. And they're smiling with so much happiness inside. They're so rich inside. And I couldn't get enough in, even though I'm hardly breathing. I'm constantly coughing, and my nose is stuffed, and I'm, excusing my language, my stomach doesn't digest. I have to run to the bathroom because I cannot eat the food. But I am embracing their full happiness in life because they're so fulfilled. And so my question is, what are they having that they can surrender to Creator that we're not? Because before you can surrender, you gotta have something, which is, what is that?
Spiritual knowledge.
Spiritual knowledge, but there's a feeling. Which feeling is that they're having that we're lacking in the West?
I would say peace within. Oh.
Ladies, it's the faith. They truly believe in Creator. There's the faith. With first, there's a spiritual knowledge. And with spiritual knowledge, you get to the faith. And once you are already believing and you have faith in Creator, then you can surrender. But the biggest difference between us and them, we're still thinking, I have to drive life. I have to find a man. I have to work to make money. I. They have no concept of I. It's him, and him. There's zero expectations. They have banana, they're happy, but they're not expecting banana. I brought them all this food thanks to you. They're happy, but they have no expectations, zero expectations. They're not expecting bad or good. And that's how there is this fulfillment and surrender. The good happens, they acknowledge it, and they're experiencing joy. The bad happens, they're not complaining to Creator, which we are doing in the West. We, without knowing, when we're constantly complaining and unhappy with life, we're really complaining to Him. And the spiritual gurus are clearly stating, everything that we have is accumulation of our good and bad karma. You have a good husband, you've done something right in this or previous life. You have no job, no husband, struggling, you've done something bad in this life and previous life. And we gotta surrender to it. And how we can surrender is through first spiritual knowledge and then faith. Without the faith, we will not get to the surrender and acceptance. This is very important, ladies. And when we are lacking the knowledge, how can we really do even meditation? Because we're questioning, is really Creator gonna do anything for me? Is He even there? Because what are we afraid of?
Failing?
Failing at what?
I mean, I think of so many things, like the pressures we put on ourselves, the societal pressures, the images that are out there. So there's many things coming at us.
The biggest,
what we can.
The biggest fear that we have, this is really great, Sarah. Besides the fear of death, we're really afraid that God will fail us. Creator will fail us. That everything that we are hoping for, He's not gonna deliver. And that's at the core why we're lacking faith. We're still questioning, will He actually do everything that I want? Tomorrow I'm gonna deepen this conversation deeper. But today, for the sake of time, not to take more of your time, let's do the exercise that I have in mind. Is it okay if I'm gonna keep you for the next 20 to 25 minutes?
Yes, for me, yes.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. All right, ladies. Then I would like for you to get comfortable. Thank you, Gabby. And you can either sit on the recliner or a sofa or the bed. Make sure that you're comfortable. I would like for you not to cross your legs. Stay open. Stay open. You can either lay down or sit, but stay open. Don't cross anything. And then close your eyes and take a deep breath. All the way in, expanding your chest and your lungs. And then slowly exhaling. Another deep breath, bigger than the one before. And then slowly exhaling. One more deep breath. And hold it for 3 seconds. And then slowly release. Now, for a moment, for the next 5 to 10 minutes, I would like for you to take a journey to a different body. A male's body. I would like for you to fully transform yourself into the strong, physically fit male's body. And allow yourself to experience the strong shoulders, strong back. Feel your biceps and triceps and strong chest. Allow yourself to feel your brain, your mind, that is very logical and very analytical. And then at the same time, I would like for you to also experience your stomach. And you might even have a six-pack. And if that's so, allow yourself to feel all those muscles. And then as you go down, experience your genitals. Yes, you have a penis and you have balls. Experience those genitals in your body. Experience your strong buttocks and very strong legs. You can even move around to fully experience your body in a male's body. And then visualize yourself now going to work where you see other men just like you who have their genitals. They have analytical and logical mind. They have their strong torso, shoulders and chest and arms. And allow yourself to fully experience what do you feel around men who are there just like you, working hard, competing in order to make it, succeed, and survive. Allow yourself to feel all of this high sexual drive. And the moment a beautiful woman passes by, how many thoughts you have about this woman, and how sexual drive is in a way for you to even concentrate on your workload. Be there with your thoughts, your logic, analysis, and the desire to fight and compete in order to succeed. Allow yourself to experience what concerns, what fears do you have as a man? And what fundamentally you really want? And why do you want it? Why do you want to succeed? What is your drive? Who are you doing it for? You definitely are not doing it for yourself. So why are you putting so much effort, energy, and time to succeed in this workplace, in this job, financially, and generally in life? Keeping your eyes closed. If anybody wants to share, just one word. What is your drive?
Woman. How value woman.
Very good. Anyone else?
Women as well.
Very good. Anyone else? Now, as you see that you're doing it for a woman, what do you want from this woman? Keep your eyes closed and allow yourself to feel. What do you need more than anything from her?
Family.
Beautiful. What else?
Safe space.
Safe space.
Support.
Support. What kind of support?
Like trust and encouragement.
Beautiful. Trust and encouragement. Anything else? What do you want from a woman?
To have a safe space to be me, to be weak if I want, to be myself, to not compete,
Yes.
to not like put double face or something, to be real.
To be vulnerable.
Vulnerable, yeah.
Beautiful. Really great, ladies. See what else a man wants from you that you never thought of, that you never even imagined. Besides vulnerability and your support, what else a woman wants from you?
Trust
Yes,
that, what woman want from me,
yes.
I will be able to do it. Maybe it's gonna take time, maybe like more effort or something, but I know my woman always will be next to me and believe in me.
Beautiful. A man wants more than anything for you to trust in him, in his leadership, that he will succeed and he will be able to provide what you want. And see if you'll be able to even glance how much he wants you to follow him. And that's how it feels like. Trusting in him, not competing with him. You're really following his leadership. And just be with that for a moment. Because for the first time, you're diving into this very fragile, but at the same time very powerful world of men who are exhausted competing with other men like him. And he has to do it every day. And he do it only for you. Now I would like for you to start slowly coming out of this man's body, acknowledging for showing you his world. And you can start shifting into your body, a woman's body. Allow yourself to see yourself in the workplace, where you're surrounded with men who are competing with each other and also with you because you are in their territory. It's a masculine territory in the masculine world. And allow yourself for just a moment, feel yourself vulnerable. And if you feel yourself vulnerable, allow yourself to experience any feelings, authentic feelings that are really there without you protecting yourself or faking that you're masculine and strong and have weapons like men who are natural at competing with each other. And if you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, you can share how do you feel being in this masculine world in the workplace.
Exhausted, tired.
Yes, keep looking. Very good. Anya, what are you feeling? You're unmuted. Anya, I cannot unmute you actually. Yeah, we don't hear you, unfortunately, Anya. Not sure what's going on. Try again. It's okay, you'll share later. Thank you, Anya. Sarah, if anything is showing up, how are you feeling there? I would like for you to experience the deepest feeling being in a masculine man's world is being a prey. Feeling really scared. Because you're in a territory where there's literally a war between other men who are competing. Bulls are fighting bulls. And you're right now in their territory. Other women are pretending to be bulls, like men, in order to compete. And that's why it's very tiring and exhausting. Please raise your hand if you experience being like a deer, like a prey. As a woman, you're not meant to be in this workplace. Raise your hand. Very good. Thank you. You can put your arm down and allow you to continue to feel yourself as a beautiful gazelle, a deer, who's trying to pretend and fake that you have all of these weapons like men and ready to fight them. Deep down, you feel that you don't belong there. That is not natural to be there. Your woman's nature, you're born for love and happiness. You're born to be protected, provided for. And it's a man's duty to lead you and to nurture you so you can nurture yourself and your children. Raise your hand if you deep in your core feel that right now. Thank you. Put your arms down. Allow yourself to fully embrace your vulnerability of being a woman, your nature of being a woman. And it's an illusion right now that you don't have a protection. You have protection with you every day, every hour, and even every minute. A father above you is constantly protecting and watching over you. The only thing what you haven't fully grasped is that you still think that it is your job to protect yourself. You can keep taking actions, but the real protection comes only from Him. Connect to the feeling in your soul where right now you fully feel the truth that the only protection you can get only from Him. And raise your hand if you're connecting to that.
I'm like 50, half.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you for acknowledging. And now, I would like for you to dive into your biggest concern in life, your biggest fear, or biggest anxiety or worry. For each one of you, it could be a different anxiety and worry. For some, it might be worry of being single and not getting married. For some, it might be anxiety of letting go of a full-time job. For others, it's being fear not meeting the right man. For others, it might be fear of not making in life financially. Everyone has a different fear. Allow yourself to connect to the greatest fear in your body. It might be in your head. It might be in your chest. It might be in your stomach or your back. It could be anywhere in your body. Once you'll connect to the greatest fear in your body, I would like for you to raise your hand and just acknowledge where you feel it. Very good. Put your hands down. Now I would like for you to dive into that part where you're experiencing the fear. Maybe it's in your head, stomach, or chest, but fully dive into that world. And maybe it could be that you are in a dark space, maybe in the middle of the ocean, maybe in the middle of a volcano. You're either gonna feel it, see it, or smell it. Allow yourself to be there without fighting and resisting it. And even if you're in the middle of the ocean and you're sinking, allow yourself to sink. If you're in the middle of the lava, allow the lava to burn you. Don't resist it. And I would like for you, as whatever is happening with your fear, to fully say it to your fear, I accept you. Keep facing your fear and keep surrendering to it and saying to it in your mind, I surrender to you. I accept you. The more you're resisting your fear, the greater the fear is. So keep surrendering. It's pointless to fight the dragon, so keep surrendering to it. Keep saying, you are mine and you're part of me. I embrace you. Keep accepting it. Raise your hand if you're resisting this process. Put your hand down and keep talking to this fear. The more you're resisting it, the bigger the fear is, the more power it has over you. The moment you will accept it, it will start going away. All it wants is your acceptance. Keep embracing. Say to the fear, thanks to you, I made it this far. Thanks to you, I've survived. Thanks to you, I am here. You protected me the best way that you could. Without you knowing, your fear is there to protect you. On very primitive way, it's protecting you. Yes, and in the process, it's costing you life and being alive. But it's doing its job on autopilot. Acknowledge it. You are here, and I acknowledge that you are part of me, and you are mine. I will tell you even more. This fear is the fear of your inner child. So if the resistance is still high, you can imagine that you're holding a little part of you, Olga or Anya or Gabby or Sarah, that is 3 or 4 year old in your hands, if you're still resistant, or a newborn. Now you can keep talking to your inner child in your arms. You're safe with me. I will protect you. I didn't know that I was battling you and that you are scared. Please forgive me for not protecting you, for not accepting you, for not nurturing you. You're mine, and I love you the way you are. It's gonna get better. I promise you. I will always be here for you. Raise your hand if you've noticed a huge shift and that the fear is no longer there. Raise your hand if the fear changed its shape or form. Raise your hand if you're coming to the space of calm. Raise your hand if you come to the space of acceptance. I would like for you to be there for a few moments with your emotions and feelings and keep nurturing the feeling or your inner child that is in your arms if it's hard for you to deal with directly with your feelings. You can nurture by holding your inner child, touching her head, patting her head and her back, hugging her heart to heart and telling her, you're part of me and I'm part of you. And I will always be there for you. And I would like for you to breathe. Deep breath in and slowly exhale. Another deep breath and exhale. Another deep breath and exhale. 30 more seconds and we're gonna start slowly coming back. If you still feel any worries, stresses, or fear in your body, the rest of it you can just slowly exhale through your mouth and visualize how through your mouth as you're exhaling, you're releasing the leftover of the stresses, worries, or fear. You can open your mouth slightly as you're exhaling, and you feel like the dark energy of fear or worries coming out of your mouth slowly as you're exhaling your leftover fears or worries. Do it on your own time, visualizing as you keep releasing the leftover feelings. Once you're clear, you can raise your hand. Thank you. And now I'm gonna count to 10. And on the count 10, you can open your eyes and feel present, clear, and good. 1. You're gonna do the last 3 breaths, and on the last breath, you're gonna fully clear everything that is still lingering in the background. 2. Take a deep breath now. And as you're slowly exhaling, you're pushing all of the negative and dark feelings out of you, out of your body, out of your mind, and out of your system. 3. Taking another deep breath, bigger than the one before, and putting all of your attention to the small space that is still there in your body. And now as you're exhaling, you're exhaling everything that shouldn't be there, that shouldn't belong. 4. Now you're gonna take a deep breath, a last one. And if anything is still there, you're gonna push on the exhale. 5. And now you can start slowly moving your fingers and your toes. 6. You can start moving your head and your neck. 7. You can start moving your shoulders, your lats, and your upper back as you keep stretching. 8. You can start moving your arms and your legs as you keep coming back. 9. You can move your body on the right and on the left as much as you need and want to. And on the last count, when you're ready, you can open your eyes, 10, and feel present and good. Welcome back, ladies. Really good. Who would like to share what was present when you experienced being in a man's body that you've never thought or never felt before and was surprised what men are going through? Who would like to share?
I can share. When I thought of myself like being this man, I thought of myself like in an office setting and just the pressure, and the daily pressures. And if you think of it from like analytical mind, like the constant competition between another man, and then when you bring a woman into the picture, then you bring the insecurities. Oh, but this guy looks better than me, or may have more muscles than me. So it made me aware of this and more compassionate for men. But it also helped me as a woman to relax more, um, and how having that surrender part is so important, because that feeling is what they need, and you adding that stress just doesn't help them at all. And it's even like, yes, you can say all the nice things and maybe seem sweet and dress in a pretty dress, but truly energetically, that surrender feeling is important. Thank you.
So you fully clearly got what men are dealing with fundamentally every day is pressure. Enormous pressure, because they are competing like bulls in war every day. And we don't get their world. That's what they're dealing with every day. They're going to compete and fight, and this pressure is enormous. And the only thing, as you mentioned, they're looking for that trust and surrender. Trust, and they're the leader. They're the providers and protectors. Oh, yeah.
I had one more thing too.
Sure.
I was, when we thought of the woman, I was like, it made me think for myself, like Sarah, like you being next to a man and even like engaging with conversation with the men is like uplifts them so much, or they probably feel so good, like, wow, I'm speaking to this pretty woman. So just have more relax on yourself and like understand like you're the prize, right? Because a man will be so like, wow, you know. That was
Yes.
another thing.
Yes. And another thing that Olga mentioned during the exercise, they want to come home and feel vulnerable. They need that. If you're not in your feminine flow, they cannot relax in order to go back to compete and fight and feel again pressure. But I would like for you ladies to keep adding, what did you experience that was surprising for you? Anya, Gabby, Olga, what else?
I can share.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I mean, I don't know if it's surprising, but I saw myself as my perfect man, you know? I just imagined that I just have a goal and vision. I need to be successful, I need to be stable, and this is what make me high value man to get this woman, which I want. And then, of course, when I was a woman, and when I'm thinking, I'm as a man, I'm doing all this, I'm competing, I'm not looking at another woman because I have a goal to be successful, to be strong, like I mean stable. And then I'm going to this woman, kind of like and give her flower and like I mean date her, and then she just in muscular energy, like or what is this, or like kind of not appreciating, not like kind of giving me this feminine energy, and I'm just like, oof. Why I'm doing all this for what?
Yeah.
And this was just so example of a man which like kinda I want to meet, which I like kind of visualizing in my head. And definitely as a woman, the second part of our exercise, what I felt it like myself as a woman and what this man want from me. And if in case I'm not gonna give him, definitely it's mean I'm not gonna have if I'm not high value woman, I'm not gonna get high value man. And this like might make sense.
Yes, you got it. Because
Yeah.
high vibration,
doesn't-
high value attracts a high value. Low
Yeah.
vibration, feminine men attract masculine women. And this is like, they deserve each other. That's how it works. No other way. Really beautiful. Thank you, Ola.
So I was surprised when I felt like a man that I felt very big strength, like physical strength as well. So we know usually that men are stronger, but yeah, definitely that. And this physical part, also getting noticed the women and how the body reacts, you know. So this was something interesting to see, because of course the competing focus on work, especially when we imagine this work area, and and as a woman feeling very vulnerable when it comes to this work arena, which for me it's I feel often very like this because I work, so I see that men like to having the private wars in the workplace. So this is very often very exhausting because everyone fights like men, but also very masculine women as well. So it's very difficult to not to compete or not to be beaten during this work time.
Really great. Did anybody experience, because when I did this exercise in the seminars with over 120 people, women who were there, around 60 or 70 of them, experienced feeling fear of, almost like fear of life. Because when we're in a masculine energy, we are so scared because we really are like prey in the masculine world. Like they're hunters with guns, and we are deers, pretending like we're the hunters and have weapons, but we don't. We are deers, we're prey. And when you get to the core of it, really vulnerably, you allow yourself to actually experience this fear for life, because it's a very dangerous world. And we're pretending like we're the strong and we can protect ourselves, but it's not natural at all. We're prayerful, we almost fear for life in their masculine energy when we have to compete with them. Like there's literally two bulls are fighting and we're in the middle pretending like we're the bulls. We don't have horns, we don't have weapons. We're prey. We're gazelles. Did anybody experience that?
I did. I felt like when it came to, well, how I see it associates, right? When it came to like the office setting and like feeling competition in that moment, I felt okay, the competition, but like, would this guy try to sabotage my job or this? But it makes me think on the other spectrum, if you think of people who live in the streets, how or in that street life, how that's even heightened because they're
Absolutely.
dealing with guns, gangs, and all that, and that's
Yes.
even more fear of
Yes.
death and life and all that.
Yes. And did anybody experience how men, when you are actually experiencing a body part, the penis, and your sexual high energy, how much the sexual energy is exhausting because you think about sex all the time? Did anybody experience that?
Yes, I did it.
Good.
When this work environment, I imagine a woman crossing by, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That it's, I couldn't focus on work anymore, but on women.
Yeah.
That it passed by in the office. Yeah.
Because 99% of men, unless they're impotent, that's how they feel. They are suppressing their sexual desire because it's not acceptable in a society, but it's there. They're competing, they're at war, they're pressured, and they want sex. They're horny all the time. And it's exhausting. And it's not acceptable also. They have to adjust to us, but that's their body, that's their natural state.
I actually have a funny story about that. Sadly I wasn't able to
do it. You'll do it,
little man.
Yeah.
But I did make myself a chai in honor of your trip to India. So I have a longtime friend who she's a neuroscientist, and obviously there's a lot of masculine energy, but in the different studies that they do, sometimes they do different hormone therapies, and they're not supposed to be doing this, but sometimes the women would test out having the same level of testosterone injected into them as men. And she was like, Gabby, the first time I did it, she was like, wow, I wanted everyone. Like, she was like, I never, she was like, wow, like, everybody never looked at them in that kind of way in my life. And she was just, the way it was so funny. She was like, wow, like men have to suppress. And so it was funny how she had a more understanding view of men. She was like, wow, like just having a woman in the workplace, how that could be distracting.
Absolutely.
Even kind of a deal.
Walking horny, thinking about sex, and they're not allowed. You can look, but you can have. You can kiss, but you cannot touch. All of this can't, and it's very exhausting. And finally, ladies, were you able to connect to your fear, anxiety, or worry, where it was in your body, and were you able to nurture it and accept it? Who wants to share?
It was in my chest. And to be honest, like, I mean, when you was asking if it's get better, like definitely with the breasts it get better, but I couldn't like, it's still this insecurity, money-wise, like, I couldn't like fully no, but definitely get better. But no, it's just like even with small me and everything, but I just like how like and even I was so resistant. I mean, you still continue meditation, and I'm like, can I open my eyes? I want to open my eyes like right now. I cannot anymore.
Yeah.
And even I start to have tears, but not because I was crying, just like, I don't know, like maybe I just was so pushy, like tensing or something. It was so resistant, big one. I just want to open my eyes.
I was surprised that your resistance wasn't in your head, because if you would have...
Yeah, actually, when you mentioned after your head, and I'm like, why didn't I choose my head? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like first you were saying stomach, chest, and I'm like, yeah, chest, and you like head.
I did it on purpose for you, because people have anxiety in the stomach and the chest, but for you it's head. So
yeah,
like for you to repeat it, but look inward into your head. Once you're gonna overcome resistance in your head, things gonna flow. Because the chest is not your main thing, it's your head. Anyone else?
I think I've had it in my stomach. Yeah, it's definitely. And honestly, I felt it from the early morning, So this was, I was thinking, did I sense something before our session? Because, yeah, this feeling I had, not maybe very strongly, but from the early morning. Yeah.
And Anya, if you feel comfortable answering, have you noticed that when you have this feeling in your stomach, you tend either most likely eat food, sweets, possibly alcohol, but it's probably more related to food to numb it down.
Yes, I think so. Food mostly, in my situation. Yeah, but it's better. It's not maybe 100 percentage that I get rid of it, but 90, I feel so much better now.
Now, I will give you a little suggestion if you're open to it. Whenever you feel that anxiety, and if you're going to do this exercise on your own, you're going to calm this down. And it might take between 3 to maximum 6 weeks. You can fully get rid of it. And
Oh,
with that, the desire to numb it with food will go away.
oh, yeah. Because this is connected definitely with food. Mhm.
Yes. It just, for some people it will be smoking, for some it's drinking, for some it's sex, for some it's food. Mine was food for the longest time as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I had the girls at that time, so I didn't.
So you'll get a recording, and you and Gabby can do it in the recording.
Yeah.
I get it, and I want to acknowledge you, ladies. Even though you was kids, you were able to be in the program and to do it, and then we can complete it more when it works. And with that said, as we're coming to the end of our program, what are you taking from this program? What will be different? What are you gonna take on that gonna really shift your understanding of yourself and your husband or your boyfriend, or if you're single, how are you going to be dating? What are you fundamentally taking from this program?
I will go first. Definitely the dating free man. This I've heard it some time ago, but I didn't believe it. It makes such a sense, and it's so powerful. So thank you for also showing why it is so important. So it's also good for us, but also for men, and also that we shouldn't be dating the men we really like, but let them make us like them more. So, and I think that also, based on my experience, when I'm analyzing, my dating life and my previous relationships, which I never did it to date free men, so I think it can be successful. And also when I see that the man which used to be the most conquering me and courting me during the phases were those I didn't like on the beginning. Yeah, so and the process made them to be more involved, more persistent. So yeah, I have believed that it works definitely. So I will take it.
Thank you, Anya. So dating 3 men, really allowing yourself to do that.
Yes, allowing, because it's not also so approved by society. Usually it's not so common to do it because it's also societal pressure to rather go with one man, and this is always often done by men as well.
Mhm.
So maybe they feel this pressure as well that it's not working for them, but
But
rather
even
for us.
society and men gonna judge you if you're gonna sleep with these 3 men, not
Yeah,
sleep where you're dating. And
yeah,
you
yeah.
won't be able to change anybody's mind with regards to your neighbors, friends, and family members. You are learning and you're growing and expanding. So don't try to change anyone's mind while
Mhm.
you're doing the way it's designed. But men not gonna judge you at all if you're just gonna date them. It's actually gonna make you more valuable. Oh, you're dating others. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not sleeping with anybody, and I'm not sleeping with you. I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not your wife. I'm not your, fiance. We're just getting to know each other like that.
Yeah.
And insecure men will fall out. And it's
Yes,
good.
exactly.
They
Which
will
is
fall
better.
out. Great. Bye. It's okay. Anyone else, ladies? What are you taking from this program?
can go.
Mhm.
Definitely, I'm taking that we're totally different. Yeah, that like I'm all the time was thinking, as we discussed it today, to feel pity. Oh, he not messaging now. He waits in my step. Oh, I need to still tell him that I like you as well. But no, we're totally different, and it shouldn't be like this. And even this exercise to imagine myself like a man, I mean, it's so helpful. It's like really like blew my mind. Like, I mean, what they really need. And again, I'm coming back that we're totally different. Yeah, that they don't need as well successful woman next to them. They don't need the most smart and one, the most, I don't know, have a lot of businesses, cars, and flat. They not. Because like all the time in my head, but like I need to as well have something. I cannot just be beautiful and that's it. But no, like I'm definitely taking that we're totally different. Definitely you need to have your brain, but not your brain to compete and to succeed and to like be strong, independent, but in the way like I mean high value woman.
Yeah, yeah. Really beautiful, Oda. Thank you. We are different and appreciating
Total.
our difference. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Sarah, Gabby, what are you taking?
I think just highlighting the the pressures that men face. I think a lot of times I think women think that because we're more emotional, that we're so empathetic that we can put ourselves in their shoes so easily. But I think we actually have a very hard time putting ourselves in their shoes. So I feel like these types of exercises are really helpful because even though I live with two strong men, I think it could be very easy for me to forget, the differences in how they're facing life pressures for sure. And it's very different. The way that we look at life, the way that we experience it, the way that others react to us too, as well. Like just seeing how other people react to men versus how they react to women is definitely a different experience. So I think really being able to understand those pressures gives that true empathy, not what we think might be empathy.
Beautiful. Thank you. Really understanding what men are going through and how different they are. Yeah. Thank you, Gabby. Sarah, what are you taking?
What I am taking um was more so like continuing not to be attached to if I meet somebody who's like seems great, right? Like the first initial um or just like continue like just focusing on myself and when seeing like it, in a way like this person should add value to my life. It shouldn't have to be complicated or confusing. It should just be where like I feel whole and this person's whole and we just like add to each other's life rather than like make it all this logical, complicated situationship or yeah.
Yeah. Really allowing men to add into your life without any complications. Really, really well said. Because from the first part of the program, ladies, if you remember, men are born to serve us. And in the process, when they're serving us, providing, leading, and protecting, we're allowing them to be a man. And whether we're dating, whether we're in a marriage, when we allow that, we feel loved and they feel happy. Everybody have to honor their nature. We're serving them, but in a different way. So being in a dating process, allowing that and embracing that, Sarah, you will feel happy. So just allow this. With that said, ladies, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to lead this program, for you to be vulnerable, authentic, embracing the spiritual knowledge, and being in this very powerful conversation about men and women. And at the end of the day, the only way we can really make a man responsible to understand our nature, their nature, because it's very different, and continue to growing spiritually. With that said, thank you. I'm very privileged and honored to be in the space with you and share my knowledge.